Hello again and welcome to Module 12. This is where you're going to have your review of a lot of the Python concepts that we have been learning thus far in the semester. You're going to land on a review sheet for your exam, and then also you're going to have your exam within this module for the week. So like all of our modules, the same basic setup, and we're just going to next through here to see what we have. You're going to see that you have a string of activities that are going to review high-level concepts for you so far with Python. We're also going to start to introduce you to some naming conventions that are tied into GIS data. So while we're not doing any GIS right now, you're going to be making string variables and lists and creating variables that you will then start to see later in the semester as we start to use those naming conventions throughout our code that actually do GIS operations. So this is the first one. It's just a string variable, so it's reminding you about the concept of variables, and that variables can hold strings, and oftentimes with GIS data they will hold the names of data sets. So that's what this one is, and with each of these little review activities, what you need to do is you need to turn in the code that you're prompted to type in with your header comments always. You need to run that, and then you'll see some reminders about what the takeaways are, why these things matter, and then you're going to be asked to try something on your own. What you turn in needs to be your original script that you wrote before the try on your own plus the try on your own. So you're going to be getting points for going through and doing these final little statements, and then you also need to turn in an image of that output window that shows that your script ran successfully on your machine. All right, so that's the first one there, and you'll see that these are all just worth a short little 5 points, but these should be easy 5 points for you to grasp and earn as you move throughout the week, the early material here. The next one is just we're going to be looking at list variables. You're going to be asked to type in a series of lines here that work with lists and gain access to different things within the different index values of your list. Some takeaway, why it matters, and again, asking you to do something on your own. You'll turn in that script updated with the try on your own, and also the image that matches the script that is being turned in. Then you're going to review how to manipulate list variables. So you're going to do some appending, some sorting, gaining access to the length of a list, and then practicing with that for loop there so we can cycle through the list. Again, you have the takeaway, why it matters, and the try on your own, and then the submission of your script in an image. Then we have our decision support statements. This is our if then else and elif. So you're going to practice with some layer lists. So pretend that maybe this is a geodatabase and you've listed the layers inside of a geodatabase. You're going to do some if, elif, and else statements here. And then again, you're going to read about the takeaway, why it matters, and then try on your own. And you want to do the update and turn in that script and the output image. The last one of these review activities, it goes back to looping, which you've actually seen in one of these other review activities, but it focuses specifically on being able to loop through a layer list or loop through a list itself. This is going to become very important when we get into GIS data. Oftentimes we get into a workspace and we want to list out all the GIS data that's inside of that, and then the way we see it as the user is by doing a list that loops through it all and prints out the name of the layers that are in our current workspace. So this is going to be something that you'll play with a lot. So it was good to come back here and review it again. Again, your takeaways and a try on your own and a why this matters. And go ahead and turn in your script in the image. The next thing you're going to get on here is kind of an old school review sheet. So this is going to be a list of basically, this is just the topics that we have covered up till now. So you could very easily just go back through all of your modules and create this list all for yourself. But if you wanted to see in one location where all of your topics have been that are going to be within the exam, this is the place that you want to come. You can come through here and just remind yourself and maybe take some notes on these things. I encourage you to go back and review some of the code that you have written up to this point. The exam will be fully open book. You can have access to any material you want because I really can't control that. But do know that when you hit next here and when you decide to start the exam, you get only one submission and you have a 2-hour time limit. So as soon as you start the exam, your clock starts on your 120 minutes. There are a little over 30 multiple choice and true, false, and matching questions, each ranging from 2 to 4 points each. I encourage you to, if nothing else, have idle open because you will want to maybe type into idle if you want to test out some code so that you can see what the result is when you go to answer a question. You're welcome to use idle as a help. You're also welcome to use Canvas materials as a help as well. So this is the big thing for the week, so make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to study and practice for the exam, and then that 2-hour time block in your week in order to take the exam. And then, actually, that should have it done after it. This is what you're gonna be starting on when it comes next week. You're gonna be doing the ArcPy and geoprocessing, so that will be your next module. So you need to, you'll see your dancing snake here with the module being done. So if you have any questions leading up to the exam, don't hesitate to ask. I cannot answer questions during the exam, and you'll see here that the exam, you'll be able to see your correct answers between March 3rd and March 5th. Basically, it's open on the 4th of March for you to get in there and look at the answers. And if you have questions after that, don't obviously write down your questions, send me an email, and we can talk through them that way. So best of luck and best wishes with everything in this week. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.